Hi everyone. I'm here to do an AstroTarology talk with you today. If there's time at the end, I will draw a few cards for each sign. I'll keep that very brief. I've been doing a lot of all signs lately. This happens to be an astrology transit that I'm very passionate about, both as a card reader and an astrologer. Today I'm going to be talking about Chiron, the planet of our deepest unhealed and spiritual wounds. It's part of the reason I became interested in astrology in the first place. I read a book about Chiron when I was 14. And by the time I was in my 20s, I was like doing full-on astrology charts. It was the key, which is what Chiron is. I'll get into the AstroTarology. I have notes. I'll explain how this progression is working. I've been calling 2024 the rise of the divine masculine for quite some time, which I'll explain, of course. And this transit of Chiron conjunct North Node, that's happening on February 19th. I'm super excited about it. There's so much mathematical and astrological synchronicity with this transit. I'll try to keep it in the more basic end of things, because I know astrology can get a little bit crazy, especially when we're using tarot. But let's get into it. All right, Chiron. Chiron is a huge key for me as an astrologer because of the fact that it is meant to reveal our deepest unhealed wound, which keeps us, of course, out of achieving our highest potential in love, in life in general. It is the shadow part of ourselves that we operate from. Chiron is the key in your astrology chart. It looks like an old skeleton key, actually. And I'll explain why, in my opinion, right now. When we're dealing with Chiron conjunct North Node is our collective destined path here. And so we're headed on a certain trajectory of growth, and there's lessons along the way as a collective as we reach that place. We had that nodal shift happen out of Taurus and Scorpio and into Libra and Aries, Venus and Mars. That happened late last year. And with that comes, of course, a lot of divine masculine and feminine balancing. We're talking about Venus and Mars after all. So with that happening, and then on February 19th, Chiron, which is in Aries, of course, Mars energy, divine masculine energy, when that falls into conjunction with the North Node at an exact degree, it brings about a whole lot of healing. But you know, astrology transits, it's not like one and done. On that day we find healing. It's the key that opens the door. And that is from that point on for the rest of the Chiron transit, which goes until 2026, a major theme of masculine, feminine energy coming into balance is going to be in the collective. I predict a whole lot of soulmate unions coming together over the next 2 years as well. But here's the interesting thing about Chiron. It is a minor planet. It lays between Saturn, which is Capricorn's ruling planet, and Uranus, which is Aquarius's ruling planet. Most of you know by now that at the beginning of the year we had a Pluto shift from Capricorn into Aquarius, where it will remain with a brief rollback into Aquarius, but it will remain there until, well, for 20 years more or less. Massive shift in the collective unconscious. And in between there, in the sky, lays Chiron, the wound. So in order to get from Capricorn to Aquarius, we must pass through Chiron. And that is how it's written in the stars, and it's also how it's written in tarot, which I'll show you. We have the Devil, Capricorn's major arcana. Now the Devil is all about control and traditions and the lower parts of ourselves at time that lead us into temptation. Here in the psychic tarot known as temptation. It's the things that restrict us, the lessons that we learn from the structures that we adhere to and so forth. It's what holds us back for our own good, yes, but it's a very difficult time to process through all of those lessons. I chose this deck to show you guys for a reason. This is the Psychic Tarot. I don't know if you can see the details, But there is that devil-like character there, and he's actively turning away from that opening in the universe with his hand clutching his heart. Right below that opening, there is a key that looks like Chiron, and he's turning away from it. On the rungs of the key, there is a heart. Love is the key, right? It allows you to become free of all of those lessons that we learn in Saturn energy, or the devil here. And then we reach Chiron, in my opinion. As an astrologer, as a reader, the Tower in Tarot is Chiron. It is the things that fall away, that keep the false structures, the false sense of security, anything that was built that cannot stand, anything that keeps us, again, from finding our truth. And when we pass from Capricorn into Aquarius, which is the star, the new hope, the healing, it comes after the Tower in Tarot. So again, in order to get to the new vision and the healing and the hope and the collective healing from the devil to the star, we must pass through Chiron. And right now, Chiron is sitting in divine masculine or masculine energy of Mars. So the wound that's existing on the collective level in divine masculine, what do I mean by divine masculine? Well, of course, all of us contain masculine and feminine energy and that balance within us. As a reader, I tend to externalize those two energies because it's too confusing, particularly in general readings, to read it as an internal. But we all know how that applies. Nevertheless, there's a massive healing taking place because of that. Because the North Node, our destined path and future, is also in Aries, in Mars. So to head towards there has to be a healing that's done on the wound of Chiron. So we have wounded masculine energy operating on the planet and in ourselves right now, and that's why it's coming up. Because very soon here, Aquarius energy with the star, it's going to be time to manifest something new. So let's talk about Aries a little bit. Aries in the tarot or Mars energy is the Fool, the new beginning, the leap of faith. And as I always say, you can't take a leap of faith with a beginner's mind if you're weighed down by all of the lessons of the devil. It has to come down, Chiron, so we can step into our new wish and the new hope with the star. So that healing becomes necessary for Aries here, the Fool, to begin that new adventure. For me as a reader, the Fool works as a bridge card between all of the major arcana, because in order to take all of these steps, it requires that openness and courage, divine masculine energy. And if it's unhealed, then the courage isn't there to take that leap. Masculine energy and Mars in the tarot is also the Emperor. And so the Emperor is in full command of all of his energies. So again, knowing, having the personal confidence and belief in oneself is what you need to take that leap of faith. And that can only happen when coming from a healed place. If Chiron hasn't been healed, then the shadow energies are what keep us from our power and our ability to step into the new. When we're dealing with all of that happening in masculine energy of Mars, the wounded masculine right now sits in the inability to assert their power in a healthy and balanced way. The inability to enter anything with a beginner's mind with an overextended need to control every aspect. And when the Tower comes into play, you cannot control that. So bringing that masculine energy into balance is pretty huge. And that's where the North and South Node come in. Now, I mentioned the North Node is our karmic, is our destined path, our purpose as a collective and as individuals. The South Node sits in the opposite sign of Libra right now, Venus, feminine energy. Here's Venus and Mars in the major arcana, the Emperor and the Empress. That's that divine balance I'm talking about. So The feminine energy is kind of not stepping down, but South Node, that's where we've been. It's time for the masculine to rise up in the full command of their power, and not in the distorted way where it comes out as control or material gain or temptations or fear or addictions or cycles that never end. That definitely precipitates the tower, and besides, we're no longer being asked. When North Node and Chiron fall into conjunction on February 19th, that's the tower, and it's time. Because Aquarius and Pluto, it's a collective energy and it affects all of us because of that. I'm also going to bring Leo into the picture with the Strength card here, power. Now 2024 adds up to the number 8, which is the Strength card in tarot. And that is always about having the courage to act with integrity to your own heart. It is about conquering the beast within, like ego and whatnot, that can keep us out of our power. You can see how in this card it's half lion, half man, but the man has long gray hair, implying wisdom that can only be gained from going within and facing one's own ego, and that is what the Emperor needs to do as well. This brings us the courage, the strength, and the integrity to do so, all of 2024. Also, with all this heavy Aquarius energy, which I'm going to address in one more minute, the opposite sign of Aquarius is Leo. In astrology, you can't ever consider one sign without considering its opposite, because that's the fullness of the energy. So balancing out each other, the new hope, the vision for the future, the healing, doing things a different way, and the courage to stand up for what you believe in. The star card, Aquarius. Number 17 in the major arcana, 1 and 7 is 8. Strength. That's the balance between Leo and Aquarius. Now, on that same day, on February 19th, Venus and Mars fall into exact conjunction in Aquarius. So now we have the star with Venus and Mars. So the new hope, the new way things are done when it comes to the balancing of these two energies in relationship and within ourselves. So what does Aquarius represent, especially when Venus is involved? Well, it's all about friendship. It's the 11th house of the zodiac, so it's all about what is the best for. It's not a selfish energy anymore, love. It's not about doing relationship because it's what you want, because it's what feeds your ego, because it's based on shadow energy. The healing is happening so that we no longer have to go through that. Having now learned the lessons of Pluto and Capricorn here over the last 15 years. Chiron's coming in with divine masculine energy to say that's not what the future looks like. What the future looks like with Aquarius energy in relationship, I'll specifically apply it to that, is based on healing. And like I said, a new way of doing things, a new vision for how that balance can be found. And it has to do with partnership. And it has to do with the collective. In other words, is the energy we create in union, masculine, feminine, is that energy coming from a distorted place? Or has it been healed? If it has been healed, its power to heal the collective is incredibly strong. Aquarius asks us that we make healthy choices and balance in our relationships because it's what's better for the greater good, because it's our destined path as we move towards that North Node lesson in Aries right now. What else did I want? Oh, on that same day, the sun moves into 0 degrees of Pisces. It's the first day of Pisces. Pisces is Neptune energy. It's water. It's dreamy. So again, a new way of seeing things. And now it's about listening to our intuition a whole lot more than our head and a whole lot more than the society around us. Capricorn energy. Pisces energy is super intuitive. And again, brings with it a new vision. Think of the Hanged Man in tarot. and the moon is at 10 degrees of Cancer. Cancer is ruled by the moon, so that's literally the mother at home. So it brings with it that nurturing guidance and that intuitive understanding between Pisces and Cancer. While we undergo this healing, while that shift of Chiron happens into the North Node, the mother's at home in the moon to say, this is what's to nurture you through the process of healing those wounds. And then we have the Father, Leo energy, with strength and the power to do that. So, for the masculine energy inside all of us and externally in our relationships, there's a massive shift happening. So we're moving out of the more passive energy of Venus, which is Libra in the South Node. When I say distorted masculine energy, we could say, well, that's about control, that's about power, that's kind of. But really what it's about is lack of self-confidence, the inability to trust one's own decisions, authority with the Emperor, the inability to do what's best for the greater whole, the Emperor, the inability to take control of addictions and repeating patterns, things like that. That's really the distorted masculine. And when the masculine energy is in distortion, so too is the feminine within us, because then we cannot sit in the state of receptivity and trust and creativity and vulnerability when we can't trust, right? So if the masculine is coming from that energy, then the feminine has to come from a different one too. Distorted masculine and feminine. And it can ping pong back and forth in yourself and also externally in your relationships until boom, the Tower. And it's all, in my opinion, as a relationship astrologer, it is a lot predicated on the Chiron wound. So there we go. 2024, the rise of divine masculine. 2026, if we break that down numerically, it's number 10. That's the Wheel of Fortune in tarot. That's when change happens, but that's another video. Let's do quick cards for everybody in the collective if you're interested. I'm just going to do, I'm going to keep it quite brief, of course. I'll do one oracle and maybe one tarot per sign. Let's start with Aquarius. What do we have for Aquarius in this Chiron transit? Wow, that's powerful for you, Aquarius. Regeneration, especially with everything going on in your sign right now. Needless to say, you're transitioning. It could be that time in Capricorn, Pluto in Capricorn, since 2008, a very difficult learning lesson that maybe kind of broke you down. And now you're rejuvenating, coming into that star, the hope. That's beautiful for you, Aquarius. Okay, let's go to Pisces. What's your message? The Thinker. Interesting. You might be off on a whole new experience or about to be. Maybe that Tower energy of Chiron is leading you into a new experience too. But you're really taking time to think about where you want to plant your seeds going forward now. If you recently had Tower moments in your life, Pisces, big life events, moves, job changes, divorces, then you might be spending a lot of time pondering on what you want to do now that the Tower fell. I like the Thinker in this deck because it's like curious. So with the Aquarius energy, you could be curious about your new beginning, Pisces. What do we have, Aries? For this Chiron in your sign. How you doing, Aries? Poised. Oh, I love it. It's like the Fool card, isn't it? This is you. You've been perched on the edge of a new beginning for some time. Something is about to happen for you. Whether it's a new beginning that's a leap of faith, like a new workplace, a new relationship, again, a new adventure, but poised for change, Aries. It could be that something is poised to come into your life that you don't see. I don't know why I'm saying that, I just got that, but something poised to come in. Interesting. All right. Taurus. Okay, Taurus. A change in the wind, yeah. Well, Aquarius being the tower brings about change. That's what it does. I always say it's the change maker. Now, a change in the wind, there's a home on top. There's something you didn't see as a possibility, or you thought maybe wasn't going to happen that is now. It could be, again, to do with that shift into Aquarius, that you're changing the way you've been doing a particular relationship. Something is about to move, though. Interesting. Okay, Gemini. Fork in the road. You have a decision to make between the past and the future. Lots of decision cards coming out, isn't there? You could find yourself at that crossroads at this time. And maybe it is about, I'm getting real past. It could be about fear as well, holding you back from making that decision. You might need to choose a path that's unknown to you, Gemini. From that devil card, right? The past into the future of the star. Okay, Cancer. Well, that's beautiful. That's very Aquarian energy with exchanging gifts. Maybe you're going to enter into a new creative partnership or a new relationship that has more of a friendship base or an equal balance behind it. Exchanging gifts, Cancer, also brings to me in mind what I said about that Aquarius shift. To do with what benefits the collective. Is the combination of you and this person going to enhance the energy? Because it's about what you can offer out to the collective at this point, energetically. All right, Leo. You got two. I'm only going to take one, Leo. I'm sorry. Leo. Well, we can't ask for better than that. Happy, happy. Sometimes I see this card as being a little bit sardonic, but I don't here. And there's two happies. What I'm thinking here, Leo, is that you're coming to like a mutual agreement where two people are going to feel the same way. And that's very nice. Look at that rainbow. This is like getting everything you wished for. You could be encountering a situation or a person on your path right now that is the answer to what you wanted. It's going to make you happy. Yeah. There's stars present in that card, Leo. Let me show you. Everything that you wished for. She's holding that star up to her heart. Also a reference to the star card. You could have been manifesting. Nice. Okay, Virgo. What do we have, Virgo? I can't take two, but I saw truth be told. We'll see if it comes back out. Okay, I had to say it because I saw it. Virgo, there we go. Serendipity, good luck, good fortune, good timing. Serendipity is something that is meant to be. So during this time near the end of February, you could be like counting your blessings, like being like, I cannot believe my luck in a certain situation. Something also that has a wish tied to it for me, because there's 4-leaf clovers in here. It's not magic. It's meant to be. Libra. Yang, look at that. Divine masculine. Now, Libra, you could be finding that perfect balance within you at this time. But it could also be that that balance is coming into your life in the form of a relationship. Libra, you are ruled by Venus, so for some of you, this could be about obtaining, nurturing that Yang energy within you more. That Mars energy of self-assertion and confidence. And then for others of you, it could be that this is entering into your life in the form of another person who brings the divine masculine energy to the picture. Okay, Scorpio. What do we have, Scorpio? What do we have for Scorpio? Scorpio, you get fork in the road too. Wow. It was Gemini, right? But I'm getting a little bit of a different energy for you on this one, Scorpio. I'm saying that this has something to do with your belief in magic. There's a very magical component, and right away, I got the energy of believing in what you believe in. Like either you do or you don't. If you believe in what you say you believe in, then you're going to have to take a path less traveled here. That's what I'm getting for you, Scorpio. Interesting. All right, Saggy. What do we have for Sag? Oh, no. I'll take the first one, Sag. You get happy as well. Very nice. I'm not getting a different vibe to this one. I already can't remember who got it. But happy with those stars. You are getting what you wish for. And maybe right now you're wishing for your ultimate happiness as well. It could be that that is what the star represents for you. Let me see. I think for you it has something to do with what you're creating as well, Sag. You might be working on a project. She's sitting on top of that egg that looks like it's about ready to hatch for me. So whatever you're creating or have been creating is about to yield big time for you. It's gonna make you very happy. Nice. These are good messages coming out for the collective, Capricorn. All right, Kathy. I'm gonna reshuffle, but you got a change in the wind as well. Are you dealing with a Taurus? Let's put it back in though. Capricorn. Kind of was indecisive. Oh, I see. Oh, isn't that interesting? No place like home. It's funny I put a change in the wind back in. Capricorn, maybe you've been contemplating a change in your life, but you too made a decision, or you're not quite ready to do that. Because I don't really know why I put change in the wind back in the deck other than it fell on the floor. And now we have no place like home. So not quite ready to embrace a certain change in your life, whatever that's about for you. We're getting a lot of crossroads energy. There could be some healing of Chiron to do with your home, and maybe that's why you're not ready for the change yet. Interesting. Okay. Aquarius. What do we have for Aquarius? You get the Yang energy. Lots of repeats here. Could be dealing with a Libra. And with this Yang energy, I'm getting that within you, Aquarius. So whether lately in your life you've been finding you've been sitting in a state of passivity maybe, this is about taking control of things. This is about knowing what you want and going and getting it in a healthy and balanced way, as I explained in the intro. Somebody could be coming into your life as well, but I'm more getting that as an internal energy for you, Aquarius, for some reason. Okay. Oh, we're back at Aquarius. We started at Aquarius. Okay, you get a bonus one, Aquarius. I was so into it, I totally lost track of it. All right, well, that's what we have, and we end with Divine Masculine on the bottom of the deck. That's quite fitting for some reason. All right, you guys, I hope you found this interesting. I hope it was useful. Take a look at Aries in your chart. What house is it ruling? What planets do you have there? Because this is going to impact that in a very big way. I love you guys. I'll see you very soon. Namaste.